What's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So in this video, who's next? We are all, as you guys know, as the legendary Bernard Hopkins said, it's not about what happens, but it's about what happens next. So we just came off of the biggest fight of, at least of recent history, fight that we've been asking for, and the fight, though it wasn't boring, it just wasn't as competitive as we thought. It was pretty much one-sided, okay? So now the question is, what happened? What happens next? Who do we see Terence Crawford fight next? Who do we want to see Terence Crawford fight next? Well, ESPN put up a short list of guys that are possible opponents for Canelo. I said Canelo. Possible opponents for Terence Crawford, and I also saw my brother, my twin, Southpaw Comeback Sports, do a video on this, and so I wanted to put my own little spin to it to talk about what fights I would like to see next, right? So let's go ahead and get to it. First and foremost, let me just say shout out to Terence Bud Crawford for proving a lot of people wrong, including myself. Again, I'm always say this, man. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. I've always been a Terence Crawford fan. I'm gonna continue to be a Terence Crawford fan. I just thought that Errol Spence would be a little bit too much for him, but he proved me wrong, and I take my hat off to Terence Crawford, bro. Now I'm gonna say this. I feel like when you come off of a big fight like the fight that he just did, the fight that everybody was wanting, the highly anticipated matchup with him and Errol Spence, it's only right that you at that point when you just made that much money, because we don't know what the pay-per-views is like, but I'm predicting like around 860,000 pay-per-view buys. And though people might look at that as a failure because it didn't hit 1 million, that's actually not. You actually, to be honest, and here's something that people don't realize, you actually don't know what the fans don't know what a pay-per-view success is, right? A pay-per-view success could actually just be 100,000. It just depends on how much money you put into it, right? Check this out. I'm gonna give you put this in perspective. Let's say you spent like $1,000 on promotions, right? You spend $1,000 promoting a fight, right? A fight for $50 on pay-per-view, right? Now you get 100,000 pay-per-view buys, right? Now to the average person, they'll say, "Oh, well, that's not a lot, right?" But if you only spend $1,000 and $1,000 and on pay-per-view, on promotions, right? And you're selling a pay-per-view fight for $50 and it does 100,000. You just profited, so you just made $5 million off of that, right? So you know what I'm saying? So you just profited like 499,000. Like, it's just you. So you get what I'm saying? Like, so But I just think that the fight does like about 860,000. I don't know why that just number stuck in my head. But anyways, so. With that being said, when you make the type of money that they're about to make or whatnot, every fight now has to make sense. It has to be beneficial. At this point in Terence Crawford's career, he now has the right to say, bro, if a fight is not beneficial to me, then I'm not taking it. I don't want the fight unless if it's beneficial. So with that being said, one of the first names is Tszyu, not right? Now, I'm gonna be honest, though that would Tszyu style would make for an interesting fight with Terence Crawford. What does Tszyu do for Terence Crawford? He doesn't own a major title at 154, right? So I highly doubt that Terence Crawford fights Tszyu. Just simply because, like I said, not because he's scared, because I think Terence Crawford will beat Tszyu. I just don't. That fight does nothing for Terence Crawford. It doesn't do anything for him. I could see if Tszyu did have the WBO title at 154, then I would say okay, because then that would make Terence Crawford a 4-division world champion. So that fight would do something for him. But until then, that fight does nothing for Terence Crawford. All right. Now, they then brought up Jaron Ennis. Now, although that would probably be the most compelling fight in my opinion, I think that fight would I would be very interested in that fight. Jaron Ennis, like Terence Crawford, is a switch hitter and fights just as good southpaw as he does orthodox, like Terence Crawford. Now, I feel like obviously we all know Jaron Ennis isn't as proven as Terence Crawford is. I mean, I don't even think that's up for debate. You can't even debate that. But it's still a good fight, bro. It's a very, very good fight. I feel like Jaron Ennis definitely passed the eye test. He had a lot of people was criticizing him over his performance against the Kareem dude. I feel like he was unfairly criticized because the man won every single round. The dude just, he had to go back to the drawing board, work on it. He then came back, has a very good victory against that Romain Villa guy, who just beat Rashidi Ellis or whatever. So that's in the right. He's definitely in the right direction. But unfortunately, if Terence Crawford passes up on that, I don't feel like it's a duck, because unfortunately, like, what does Jaron Ennis do for Terence Crawford, right? I'm just being honest. Terence Crawford has the right to say, like, I mean, he does nothing for me. At this point, it's not a big money fight. He's not a big draw like that yet. He's not a big money fight. He doesn't offer me another world title. I have all the belts, so like, what does he offer me or whatnot? So I mean, that's possible. It's possible that fight is made, but I don't know, man. I mean, if Terence Crawford passed it up, I mean, I really wouldn't have nothing to say, but that would be the most compelling fight for me. I would love to see that fight. All right. Now you have a lot of people also talking about, obviously they have a rematch clause that Errol Spence gets to exercise, and it's gonna be at 154 should they do the rematch. Now, and I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, that was just a one-side ass whooping. I don't really care to see that, but I would actually like to see a rematch if it's at 154, because then that kind of closes answers all questions, closes just any type of excuse that anybody would actually have. You hear people say that Errol Spence seems to be drained. That wasn't the Errol Spence that we've known, so it's like, and it's crazy because, those are things that, people can only speculate, but only the person that's in there actually knows, which is Errol Spence. All right. Now Errol Spence has been on record saying that he's struggling making 147. He even stated that no matter what, win, lose, or draw after this fight, he's not fighting at 147 anymore because it's hard for him to make or whatnot. I think he wants to go to 154, and albeit after what I saw Saturday, although I feel like the results will be the same as far as Terence Crawford being a winner, I do feel like that would make for I think that Errol Spence may do a little better at 154, although I just don't see, because the skills is what beat Errol Spence and lack of adjustments. Okay, so I don't necessarily see that. I don't see the fight changing that much, but if they do it at 154, I would be interested to see, like, how much better Errol becomes. And then you have they said Jermell Charlo. Now, out of all the fights, I feel like that's the fight to make, because regardless, I know that Jermell Charlo has a fight with Canelo Alvarez, and Errol Spence is talking about trying to do the fight, the exercise, do the rematch in December or whatnot. So both of them, get them out of the way. Jermell Charlo said, win or lose, he's going back down to 154. That's the fight that does something for Terence Crawford. Okay, that fight definitely, because now you have a chance to become a 3-division undisputed champion, and at that point, Terence Crawford is already in my top 10 of all time. At that time, he's knocking on top 5, bro. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But should he do that, and I feel like that would, I feel like him versus Jermell would it would be much more it would be much more close. It would be much more competitive than what we saw against Errol Spence. For whatever reason, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford just was the better man. And then finally, you got Keith Thurman, which I did a video on with that. I don't think Keith Thurman, I think he just waited too little too late. I don't see him getting the fight, all right? But out of all the fights that I just named, I want to see Terence Crawford fight Jermell Charlo. He has the WBO. The WBO has the rule. Once if you vacate a belt, move up, you're automatically the title shot. All right. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. What fight would you like to see? But what do I know?